My name is Betsy Davidson. I'm 57 years old. I live in Huntington Bay, New York, and I'm voting for Hillary Clinton. I come from a long line of Democratic women. The summer of 1974, I must have been 15 years old, and my grandmother and her sister spent the entire summer watching the Watergate hearings. This is my grandmother and my mom and me.
That's you, isn't it?
That's me. That was the day I was baptized, actually. And my grandmother would be sitting on the phone sending telegrams to Washington demanding that Richard Nixon resign.
What kind of impact do you think that had on you, to see that as a 15-year-old?
It had a profound impact. I couldn't wait to turn 18 and vote. I got chills when she was, when she became the presumptive nominee.
Thanks to you, we've reached a milestone.
You know, my great-grandmother, her mother probably couldn't vote. So the idea that 100 years later, we're voting for a woman, yeah, I feel like I'm part of history. It's not the reason that I'm voting for Hillary Clinton is that she's a woman. I just believe that she is completely qualified and capable to, start on day one. The top issue for me is national security.
Why is that?
I have 3 children. All 3 children have served in our government. 2 are on active duty. My daughter is a lieutenant in the Coast Guard and has been deployed. My son, my youngest, is a Lieutenant JG in the Navy. He's a helicopter pilot.
And you've got a lot of photos of your kids in uniform here.
Yeah, well, they wear uniforms,
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So when it comes to foreign policy, Clinton has a reputation for actually being pretty hawkish among Democrats, but even compared to the Republicans. So how does that square with you?
My kids are too old for this mom to be telling them to watching their back. But the idea that another mom would have my children's back does make it a tiny, not totally easy, but a tiny bit easier to put my head on the pillow at night. I trust Hillary implicitly to make the right decisions for for the country and for my children. Donald Trump's references to ethnic groups, in particular banning all non-American Muslims from coming into this country, building a wall with Mexico, those 2 things particularly resonate with me. One of my grandsons has a mother who's Muslim. My other grandson's father and his grandparents were born in Mexico. They're 4 and almost 3 years old, and they are they're good pals. Two crazy guys. You hear tales of kids being taunted in a playground, because of their name, because of their ethnic group, makes my blood run cold. These are my grandchildren, and this grandmother just feels she has to do whatever she can do to protect, her family.
Right now, though, this is a walk you do every day?
I do this pretty much every day. I'm so fortunate, blessed to be able to live 2 blocks from Huntington Bay.
I do want to ask you this, though, too. For the people who look at the candidates and say, I want an outsider, I want someone who's not part of the system because the system hasn't worked for me, what do you say to that? I
would say I'm not opposed to an outsider, but I'm strongly opposed to this outsider. I think that we're on the right path, and I don't see Donald Trump as being able to at all address the needs of those who are less fortunate than I am. I'm going to vote for Hillary Clinton on November 8th because she is tested and she is steadfast, and I trust her implicitly to watch over my children and my grandchildren.